Kari, I hope that you could give us some insights on what's happening around us and how journalists can take care of themselves, and like what you're seeing from the standpoint of working at the Carter Center, which is encouraging of covering mental health. And I feel like not just this discussion tonight, but a part of our duty as journalists, we have a twofold duty. We have to take care of ourselves, but we also have to do a good job with news and information and relaying the importance of mental health, which I appreciated Dr. Harris zoning in on the word wellness, because that was intentional for me to put that in the title. So it was really interested in your thoughts on where we are, and yourself as a journalist as well, now working to elevate issues such as the ones we're talking about tonight. What are some tips or some reflections or insights that you have?
Yeah, thanks for that, Sarah. I think one of the things that we tend to not realize is the impact of some of the traumatic stories that we're telling, and some may seem to be daily quick turn stories, like a fatal car accident where we think, okay, the trauma isn't that huge, that's just a regular story, and then we get thrust into the current political situation and the pandemic, and now and the protests, and dealing with racism in our own newsrooms and in our industry and the people that we cover. And I've worked with teams long enough where I understood the importance of looking out for teams' mental health. And so the thing that I'm seeing right now is that a lot of our programming is based around effectively reporting on mental health so that it doesn't propagate stigma. But what I've found in the past several months is that we've had to take a hard look at our programming and what the needs of journalists actually are. And the thing that I keep hearing again and again is that journalists need mental health support. Journalists need mental health resources. And also, there is stigma within the industry as a whole in terms of getting help and in terms of talking about getting help. I think it's gotten better, but we still have a long way to go. And I think particularly in the Black community, there's stigma around that. I'm a Black immigrant, and talking to my parents about living with depression was a whole TED Talk, literally. So, before we get into the Q&A, I want to echo what Dr. Harris and Dr. Alston said, which is, there are going to be days that we'll wake up and we will not feel like working that day. And to make space for those feelings if we can. And if that's not a day that we can turn off, to find an opportunity to turn off, to do that, because that's really important. And if we feel this added layer of responsibility as Black journalists to elevate voices like ours, and that means that we're almost always on more than our coworkers, and the importance of taking that time to turn off, because, and I said this on our last call, if you don't turn off, if you don't make that decision to take care of yourself in even small ways, then your body will make that decision for you. And so before you get to that point and you're no good to anyone, to your family, to yourself, to the community, to the newsroom, take that step back and be okay with taking that step back, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to do your job as effectively as you need to. And so I want to urge everyone on this call to really think about what are some small ways that I can make myself feel better, whether that is music or going for a walk or meditation. It looks different for everyone. But find that space for yourself and take that space. You have to claim it. Nobody's going to give it to you. And take care of yourself, because I know that our voices are needed more than ever. And so I want to thank Dr. Alston and Dr. Harris and Sarah for putting this together. And I want to turn it back over to them, because last time we had some great conversation and great questions about how we can really make a difference in our newsrooms, but in our own lives, and take care of ourselves. And I would love to hear from our mental health experts on that. and from you as well. So thank you, Sarah.